Welcome to Jarrod Kimber's Super Over. Talking about Super Over, it wasn't even a Super Over. Well, it was a Super Over, but Ben Stokes, we're on air. Suddenly we see him take his jumper off. We think to ourselves, is he really going to bowl? Even India looked confused that he was going to bowl. Dead rubber test. Operation not that long ago. And Ben Stokes comes in first ball and takes his first wicket since July. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. It's Ben Stokes, isn't it? So I think he was... I said before this test match, it wouldn't surprise me if he bowls in the test match. I think he's got a bit of a break after this test match. So I think he's been building up, and we heard him say about his recovery 2 weeks ahead. So I thought there'll be a little competitive bowl at some point in India, and I think
to test himself as much as anything?
I think just to the next step through your rehabilitation. You bowl off a couple of paces, which we've seen in Hyderabad. He bowled his first ball in Hyderabad and warned us. He said, "Look, I'm going to bowl." He warned the media in the day before the test. He said, "Look, I was Vizag." He said, "I'm going to bowl. You're going to see me bowl in practice, but it'll only be like 6 balls." So you'll have gone through 6 balls, and then you get into the next week and a little bit more, and then in a net situation, and then just ramping it up a little bit. It feels good, it feels strong, and the thing I was always wary of is seeing him how he got into the battle. And when the battle comes, how he would react going into the battle. Is his front leg going to brace? Is it going to still be braced, or is it going to collapse? Is he going to have a bent leg? Is he going to try and protect when he's running? Is he going to wince as he's finished? Is there going to be any limping or anything like that? I thought his action looked spot on for somebody who hasn't bowled for quite a while. He was strong at the crease. His front leg hit the crease hard. He was in good balanced body position. His release point was good. He wasn't over the top, and he bowled an absolute beaut first up, which probably give him a huge amount of confidence as well. And I think Jude was saying that things were going awry for England, so he's gone, right, give me the ball, took his jumper off. I think he was bowling at tea time. I think he had a little bowl at tea time in warm-up, so it was always the plan for him to have a bowl. And I thought he bowled 5 overs nicely, and it's good signs for England.
Yeah, Rohit Sharma may not agree with how nicely it was. Talking about Rohit Sharma, 12 Test hundreds. India have won the previous 11 games. Chances are they'll win this one again. The thing with Rohit Sharma is when he makes runs, they do seem to have more of an impact. It's incredible that it's taken him this long to get to this level of Test batting, considering he's always been an incredibly talented player.
It is, yeah. It's probably the one massive question, story, enigma of Indian cricket that. How has Rohit Sharma only got, 5,500 test runs? Why has he only played 50-odd test matches? I don't even think he's got that many test runs, but how has he only got 12,
58, 59 tests?
59 tests, 12 test runs, 12 test centuries, a lot at home. So, but boy, when he gets runs, he looks good, doesn't he? It's beautiful to watch. He's facing balls of 151, 152 kilometres an hour, and he was making them look as though they were about 120. It looked like Paul Collingwood was bowling, not Mark Wood. So, yeah, look, it is.
He did have his whites on, Colin.
He did have his
from the north. Maybe he slipped in and
none
of us noticed.
No, it just looks great when he bats. Visually, he looks beautiful on the eye. He looks as though he's got so much time, and you can see that I've been critical of his captaincy in this series, and I think some of it's rightly so. But he's certainly leading from the front. He's got runs when his team needed them, and he batted on a decent wicket today, but he batted beautifully. Didn't really give any massive chances. There was a sharp chance for Zach Crawley, but when he gets runs, India perform well, and it just looks different to most other batters. A lot of other batters fight and wrestle with themselves and wrestle with their techniques. Rohit Sharma doesn't. It's beautiful to watch.
Shubman Gill made 100 as well. Early in the series, he looked like he was never going to make a run again, and now it looks like England might never get him out. In fact, if it wasn't for Jimmy Anderson, I suppose, getting in his head a little bit, he probably would still be batting, Shubman Gill.
Yeah, he said after the game to us that it was a conversation that will stay between him and Jimmy Anderson, which I think is brilliant. It's rightly so. A bowler can have a go at a batter can have a go at a bowler. No problem with that. And as long as it doesn't cross the line. And, we're playing competitive sport. 2 macho men that are having a real go at each other. Nothing wrong with that. But you've got to be then ready for somebody raising their game, and Jimmy Anderson's done it many, many times. I wouldn't say a lot better players than Shubman Gill, because I think Shubman Gill's turned into a very, very talented young player going through the ages, but we left Hyderabad, me, Macca, Manners and Scott Taylor, our producer, going, is that it for Shubman Gill? He's 24-year-old. There's a lot of question mark on Sirish Iyer, Nishan Kishan, another one who is very, very naturally talented in a white ball game, being sort of kicked into one side. Is Gill going to be that person? Averages 30, be moved from opener to number 3 because of the ridiculous talent as Jaiswal. He got 50 in the 4th Test match, which is a match-winning contribution, a series-winning contribution. It was only 50, but I think it came of age of Shubman Gill, and I think we've seen in this innings again. He's a wonderful performer, and he's an excellent. He's only 24, and his average will go from 31 to mid-40s very, very quickly, I think.
Shoaib Bashir he took a bunch of wickets today. His wickets are fine, and he bowled a very good ball, which he spent a lot of time talking about how good a ball it was when he was on the pitch. His confidence. It's quite interesting because England have lost this series. They're massively behind in this Test match. Still, Shoaib Bashir is playing like they're 3-1 up, and he's about to take his 40th wicket. It's a good sign from a young player to have that kind of strength, and maybe at times it went a bit over the top the way he had to go at Jaiswal, but there's something to him, isn't there?
Yeah, you can have a go at somebody. There's no problem with that. You got to back it up, and I think he's performed really well on this trip. I'm so pleased about how Hartley and Bashir have performed. They're in a thankless task going into India. Not had many first-class cricket matches, never mind no Test matches under your belt. To then lose the experience of Jack Leach and to have to perform in every single Test match like the way they have done, I think is brilliant. The two of them I think Tom Hartley looks tired, mentally tired, and I've said this on the podcast afterwards, following on, was I remember my first tour to Australia, playing 4 Test matches out there. By the end of the Test series, even on the first morning of the first day, I'm standing at fine leg and mid on and mid off, and I feel as though I'm sitting on my eyelids. I am absolutely mentally, physically knackered, and I think that's what's happening. We've seen a few misfields, but the one thing about Shoaib Bashir's bowling, he seems to have a lot of confidence in his own natural ability, and for me, that will get better the more he goes and the way he plays. Where he goes from here, I think that's up to Shoaib Bashir. It's up to the ECB. I think I'd quickly contract him in a way which then I dictate where he plays his cricket next. And if, naturally Somerset will look after their own way and their own team needs to win. And if he gets left out and he's not part of that, so be it. That's fine. He's moved on before. He then gets, Rob Keane, the ECB, then find him somewhere to play cricket to keep enhancing his learning curve, because I think there is a bright future in him. I know what Bats are saying, and he's right. I think he will improve his fielding. I think he's not a natural. I think he's got natural movement, so I think he will improve his fielding. Not so sure on the batting department. I don't think Neil Manthorpe's wish to get him number 8 will ever happen in Test match cricket. But I think as a bowler, a finger spin bowler, the tall release point, I think the boy's got a bright future, and hopefully England can get the best out of him, or English cricket can get the best out of him by this next phase of his career, because it's really, really important.
You mentioned the misfield, so we won't go through them, but I counted 6 times when England allowed a boundary in which they shouldn't have. Tom Hartley did 3 of them. One, he almost just threw it backwards.
I just think they're tired. I think.
Yeah. Can they? Okay, here's the question: can they come back then?
Yeah, I think they can come back. It's different. It's a different discipline when it comes from a batting point of view. Can they come back and win? No. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure, because I don't think they can get another 10 wickets. I think they can get themselves in a position, no question whatsoever. This team's got a great way of throwing a blanket over the scoreboard and go, right, we're batting 3rd in this game. It doesn't matter whether we're 100 in front or 250 behind. It doesn't matter. We're not even looking at the scoreboard. We're going to go out. We'll lose 10 wickets. And where we are after 10 wickets, we either shake hands or we're going to put pressure back on India. I'm just not sure we can take 10 more wickets on this. I think we do look tired in the field, and we do look tired with the ball. So that would be worrying about winning. But I certainly think England can come back strongly in this 3rd innings of the match. When it comes to the misfield, I just think physically, mentally, there's 1 or 2 tired. And I think if anybody wants to criticise that and say they're professional sportsmen, they should be fit, and that's nonsense. For me, they're human beings, and the human element of Tom Hartley being thrown into 5 Test matches, Shoaib Bashir thrown into 5 Test matches, having to be in this the way they're going. I think even more so is right when I criticised at the start about their preparation and going to Abu Dhabi and not. I think they've done it right by getting away and trying relaxing as much as they possibly can to come back in, because I think mentally and physically, 5 Test matches in a short space of time is a lot to ask, especially when players haven't done it before. And I think we've seen that a little bit in the field today because of some of the misfields and that one catch, which was a tough chance dropped.
And the run out as well.
As well. That come off Ben's. If you watch Ben's thing, Ben's got this finger. I was there when he did it. I mean, it was horrendous. It was a one-day game at Durham, and ball got hit to mid-wicket, and he's gone to catch it low down, and I mean his finger nearly snapped off. And when they did the surgery and they looked at it, I think they made a mess of it. I really think whoever did that in the ECB, I would criticise them for it, because I don't think they got the healing process right. But when you look at it, it's about 3 times the size of the other one. It is a horrible visual. And I think what he's done is he's gone to throw it off that finger, and it's rolled up the finger and gone in a different direction. So these things happen.
Second worst finger in cricket after Andrew McKenna. But we'll be back tomorrow for more talkSPORT 2.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.